Boy visits mom's grave for 7 years until he hears her voice from behind. Adam had been visiting his mother's grave since he was 9, but something happened when he turned 16 that changed everything, and the teenager went to the cemetery again, only to hear a shockingly familiar voice behind him. Before the video starts, please subscribe to join our community. Your support helps us grow, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. 16-year-old Adam walked the pathway towards his mother, Daisy's grave in Orlando, Florida, which he had visited almost every day for the past 7 years. He was only 9 when she died, and his father, Tyler, didn't allow him to go to the funeral, explaining that he was too young to witness that. The teenager remembered sitting by the window that day and waiting for his mother to return. He always felt like she would come back and wasn't gone at all. But it never happened, and eventually he realized the truth. Meanwhile, his life turned darker without her. When his father turned into a tyrant, Adam never felt close to the older man, but this gap became even bigger when he became the recipient of all his father's anger and frequent outbursts. That's when he started visiting his mother's grave, where he found a tiny bit of solace in the quiet greenery and in his conversations with his late mother. They held each other, and she cried quietly for several minutes. When they finally separated, Adam was ready to hear the truth. However, his life changed utterly only a few weeks ago when his father died suddenly. He had a heart attack, and Adam didn't know what to feel. They buried him in a spot next to Daisy, so he came to visit him too. Even if their relationship was flawed and troubled, he never wanted his father to die. It was a complicated situation. As he approached the two graves, he was drawn to his mother's more. He knew he wasn't going to find any solace from his father. Only his mother could give him the peace he sought for. "I wish you had been here way longer. You are truly missed, Mom," Adam said, placing some flowers on top of her grave and thinking of what else to tell her. Maybe he could talk about his feelings regarding his father, but those words were difficult. Just as he was about to say something, a voice spoke up from behind him. "Hello, my dear," a woman said, and Adam felt heat in his chest. Although 7 years had passed, he would recognize that voice anywhere. He turned quickly and saw the woman he had missed for so long. "Mom?" he asked in complete shock. She was older and looked worried, but she smiled at Adam, making the wrinkles around her eyes come together. "Yes, honey. I know this is confusing, but I can explain everything," Daisy uttered carefully as she moved closer to Adam. He felt like a little boy looking at her, but all he wanted was to hug her no matter what happened, and he did. Nothing mattered except that he finally got what he had wished for all those years. His mom was back. They held each other, and she cried quietly for several minutes. When they finally separated, Adam was ready to hear the truth. "First of all, I have to tell you something. You're not my biological son. The person in that grave you've been visiting is Maria, your father's first wife and your biological mother. I don't know the circumstances around her death, but after all these years and from what I know of your father, I think it's best not to know." Daisy started rubbing Adam's arm up and down. "When you were 9, I asked the neighbor to help me with a light switch in our room that went wonky. He was an electrician, but when your father came home, he accused me of doing something shady with the man and kicked me out of the house." Adam's eyes widened in shock at the revelation. "But why did he say you died?" "I believe he was embarrassed to say to others that I supposedly cheated on him. I honestly never understood Tyler much, and no one else will, but he pretended this was my grave and moved on." I guess she continued, pursing her lips and still touching Adam. "Why didn't you come for me?" he finally asked. "I pretended to be your biological mother, but we never signed any adoption papers. We never arranged that he would have fought it, and I couldn't. I will always regret never filing those papers and doing things right, but I want you to know that I've always been nearby, watching out for you, but I couldn't approach you until now," Daisy explained, her face showing concern. "I hope that you can understand why someday." Adam was conflicted. He wished he had known she was alive all this time, and he wished he could have been with her. But knowing his father, his attitude, and his tyrant ways, he understood. "I get it, or at least a little," he replied, looking at her bittersweetly. After that day, they saw each other all the time, and Daisy eventually adopted Adam because she was and would always be his mother no matter what. What can we learn from this story? Love determines who your parents are, not biology. Adam missed his mother dearly, and when she returned with the shocking truth, he still accepted her as if no time had passed. The truth will always come out in the end. No matter how many lies are told, the fact has a way of being revealed in due time.